Lesson 2: The Demands of Society from the Teacher as a Professional. In this lesson, we will be able to first discuss the meaning of the teacher as a professional. Second is explain what society demands from the teacher as a professional. And lastly, explain the professional competencies that a teacher should possess. Okay, so let us begin with this quotation. Teachers have a tremendous power to influence the students. And indeed, in these present days, we could clearly observe that teachers gives off the greatest influence to their every individual students, beginning from their personal knowledge that they are able to impart with their students and helping them to be successful in life. Oftentimes, when the young do not behave properly as expected, the question raised by parents is that what you are taught in school? It is because, with the case of parents, they are expecting their children to act properly with the accordance that they are being taught properly at school. Okay, so schools are expected to work with and for communities, and so are teachers. The Code of Ethics for professional teachers cites the state, the community, the teaching community, the school officials, the non-teaching personnel, and the learners as a group of people with and for whom a teacher works. Same way with a teacher are expected to teach the students effectively following the good morals and values. From his or her title, teacher, to teach well is what society primarily demands of a teacher. The learning of the learner is the teacher's main concern. Okay, another quotation. The effective teacher makes the good and the not so good learner learn. Simply because it is a teacher's profession to teach, and to teach, even with those students who are good in their academics, for there is always a room for improvement, most especially those students who are not good at school. It is shouldered by a teacher to look for a better learning strategy, a more suitable teaching strategy for a student to be able to learn effectively. The teacher as a profession. Teaching fulfills the elements of a profession, and so a teacher is truly a professional. A professional is the one who went through long years of preparation to earn a teacher education degree recognized by the Commission in Higher Education, after which he or she hurdled a licensure examination for teachers or the LET, administered by the Board for Professional Teachers with the supervision of the Professional Regulation Commission. In teacher as a professional, they are expected to be able to fulfill the elements for a certain profession. Just for example, they are able to study and finish the degree for a year expansion and pass the licensure examination for teachers. The teacher is a licensed professional who possesses dignity and reputation with a high moral values as well as technical and professional competence. They are the ones, or the teachers are the ones who possesses dignity and reputation with a high moral values as well as technical and professional competence. Technical and professional competence meaning they are knowledgeable enough and skilled enough to perform effectively a specific job. The demands from the teacher as a professional. A professional code of ethics outlines teachers' primary responsibilities to their students and define their role in students' lives. Educators must demonstrate impartiality, integrity, and ethical behavior in the classroom, whether virtual or in person. First is putting students first. Putting students first meaning Teachers must model strong character traits, including perseverance, honesty, respect, lawfulness, fairness, patience, and unity. As an educator, teachers must treat every student with kindness and respect without showing any favoritism, prejudice, or partiality. Teachers must maintain confidentiality unless a scenario warrants involvement from parents, school administration, or law enforcement, and never use relationships with students for personal gain. Okay, so that is for putting students first. Next is showing commitment on the job. Showing commitment on the job meaning educators must commit wholly to the teaching profession itself. A classroom a classroom should promote safety, security, and acceptance, and should always avoid bullying, hostility, neglect, dishonesty, or offensive conduct. Teachers must accurately describe their qualifications, licenses, and credentials to education boards or administration offices that look to hire them. Okay, so that is for showing commitment on the job. Next in the line is promote and uphold healthy relationships, meaning on the top of fostering healthy relationships with students, educators must build strong relationship with school staff, parents, guidance counselors, co-workers, and administrators. Teachers must keep from discussing private informations about colleagues and students unless disclosure is required under the law. And lastly is never stop learning. Never stop learning meaning an educator's code of conduct demands attentiveness to continuing education requirements and career development. Teachers must spend time researching new teaching methods, attend classes to maintain their certifications, consult colleagues for a professional advice, stay informed on technical advancements for the classroom, and participate in curriculum improvements. A teacher must ensure that their teaching methods are relevant and comprehensive for all students. Teachers must engage in educational research to continuously improve strategies in the classroom. Okay, so that is for the demands of from the teacher as a professional under never stop learning. The word teacher suggests that the main responsibility of the teacher is to teach, and the teacher's primary customers is the learners. Okay. Models of effective teaching. So first is Robert Manzano's casual teacher evaluation model of 4 domains. So the first domain under Robert Manzano's casual teaching evaluation is the classroom strategies and behaviors. This involves the routine events such as communicating learning goals and feedback and establishing roles and procedures. This also involves addressing content by helping students interact with their knowledge, practice, and deepen new knowledge. It is also helping students generate and test hypotheses. And lastly, it involves events enacted on the spot such as engaging students, procedure establishing and maintaining effective relationships with students, and communicating high expectations for all students. The second domain is planning and preparing. Planning and preparing meaning there is a use of technology for needs of students receiving special education, and lastly, for needs of students who lack support for schooling. Okay, that is under planning and preparing. The third domain is the reflection and teaching. Reflection on teaching involves evaluating personal performance such as identifying areas of pedagogical strengths and weaknesses, and developing, implementing, and monitoring a professional growth plan. And the last domain is collegiality and professionalism. Collegiality and professionalism, meaning promoting positive interactions with colleagues, students, and parents, seeking mentorship for areas of need and interest, mentoring other teachers and sharing ideas and strategies, adhering to school rules and procedures, and lastly, practicing in school initiatives. Okay, practicing school initiatives. And the next model of effective teaching is Charlotte Danielson framework for teaching. So first is planning and preparation. Second is the school environment. Third is instructional. And lastly, professional responsibilities. The third model for an effective teaching is James Strong, the Teacher Effectiveness Performance Evaluation System, or the TEPES system. Okay, so there are 7 performance standards. First is professional knowledge. Second is instructional planning. Third is instructional delivery. Fourth is the assessment for learning. Fifth is the learning environment. Sixth is the professionalism. And seventh and the last is the student's progress. Professionalism, meaning maintains a commitment to professional ethics, communicates effectively, and takes responsibility for and participates in professional growth that results in enhanced learning. And on the last is student progress, meaning the work of the teacher results in acceptable, measurable, and appropriate student academic progress. Okay, so there is also a teacher evaluation standard, the Macrel model, or the Mid-Continent Research for Education and Learning. Under this evaluation standard is first, the teacher demonstrates leadership, meaning the teacher must first lead the classroom, demonstrate leadership in school, lead the teaching profession, advocate for schools and students, demonstrates high ethical standards. Okay, so that is under demonstrates leadership. Second is a teacher must establish a respectful environment for a diverse population of students. Third is teachers shows the content they teach. Fourth is teachers facilitate learning for their students. And lastly, teachers reflect on their practices. And that is all for the teacher evaluation standards by Macrel, or the Macrel model, Mid-Continent Research for Education and Learning. Since the main task of the professional teacher is to teach, society demands from him or her teaching competence. And if a teacher has to teach effectively, he has to, first, prepare and plan very well for instructions. Second is execute or deliver that instruction plan very well because he or she, or as a teacher, has the professional knowledge. Third is create a conducive or favorable learning environment for diverse group of learners. Fourth is assess and report learners' progress. And lastly, demonstrate professionalism as he or she deals with superiors, colleagues, students, and parents. The key points for this lesson is that the Filipino teacher is a professional. That this means that he or she demonstrates technical and ethical and moral competence as a result of his or her long years of initial professional education, which lead him or her to the earning of college university degree and passing the licensure examinations. He or she goes through continuing professional development and abides the code of ethics for professional teachers. Another key is that the Filipino teacher is a professional. This means that he or she possesses professional competence. This professional competence is demonstrated in his or her professionalism, personal knowledge in the creating a favorable learning environment, excellent instructional planning, instructional delivery and assessment practices. It goes without saying that as professional, he or she has mastery of subject matter. And that is the end for Chapter 2, Lesson 2, The Demands of Society from the Teacher as a Professional. Leaving you with a quotation, the duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. That is by Dorothea Dix. Thank you and goodbye.